Alright my friends, it's about time to finish up all of the E-tier blades, so today we're going to be covering the last of them, Kora. No one has ever asked me for a Kora guide, but for the sake of completion, I have decided to give it to all of you anyway. Kora at the very least has a decent weapon class, but she doesn't really offer much besides that, which is the main reason for her ranking. She's definitely not very good, and not likely to feel that much better than a common Knuckle Claw, but the good thing about Xenoblade 2 is you can make any character work, and that's going to be the goal in showing off Kora. In this video, we're going to take a look at Kora, discuss all of her strengths and weaknesses, and see how to use her the most effectively. And as always, if you enjoy this type of guide content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel because it does help me out so much. Let's get into it. Kora is part of the Knuckle Claw weapon class as mentioned, and this means her default weapon isn't too bad. It has the highest auto attack stat of general healer class weapons, able to reach over 1300 with the right core chips, and maxes out at 40% critical hit rate with the Moon Matter core chip. You might see a 50 there, but that's because it is being boosted by something else. Block rate is the second lowest tier in the entire game, but that should barely matter for Kora. Her physical defense is 10%, and ether defense is 30%, which isn't too bad for a healer and gives her some level of resiliency. Her stat mod is 10% ether, which isn't very high, but hey, extra ether can still be pretty decent, and her cooldown is 5, which is tied for the lowest in the game, which probably doesn't matter because I doubt you're going to want to be swapping to Kora that much. But, of course, stats don't mean that much in general. What's more important is the affinity charts. Let's take a look at what Kora has to offer there. Kora's first skill is Potion Hoarder. This will extend the time health potions that spawn while Kora is currently active stay on the field by 60 seconds at level 1, rising up to 100 seconds at level 5. Okay, I guess. If you play as Kora and do anything related to driver combo strategy, you'll likely see health potions everywhere at all times, which means I guess you have healing when needed, but it's just such an odd skill and it feels like extra level ups of this have diminishing returns, since 60 seconds was already a really long time for health potions to stay on the field. Most healers can just heal with a single art or something, so I guess this helps the Knuckle Claw Kora have better healing, but besides that it isn't really that impactful in many fights. Now it does have decent synergy with another blade, but that's about the only real practical use of this skill. It's an interesting concept, but the diminishing returns and lack of real use as a major healing option over other, better healers hinder it from being some kind of amazing skill overall. Kora's second skill is Walking Joy. This will restore 4.5% health while moving every second at level 1, rising up to 7.5% at level 5. Well, I guess you can get even more healing while you're moving to pick up those health potions. This only affects Kora though, and it isn't too often you'll need to heal Kora and no one else, since I doubt Kora is going to be taking the aggro. Even if she did, moving is just time you're not doing anything else, which still isn't an ideal situation, so I don't really like this skill. Besides, if you have potions everywhere, why do you need to heal while moving anyway? Overall, not a great skill that's going to be very impactful in fights. Kora's final skill is Stop Thinking. This skill has a 60% chance to stop the enemy from moving for 3 seconds after landing a special at level 1, and this rises up to an 80% chance at level 5. This does not interrupt what an enemy is currently doing, so the timing can be pretty tricky, and it also isn't as impactful as you might think. Technically this applies per hit of a special, but slight spoiler here, Kora is one of the 2 blades who have only 1 hit on all 3 of her specials, which is pretty freaking bad. Technically I guess the 3 seconds could come in clutch occasionally, but it's not likely to matter much when you're just delaying an enemy action slightly. It's not like Kora can really spam specials fast to make this super broken, and even if she could, it has a 20% chance to fail anyway. It seems like it could have also been a good skill on paper, but 3 seconds really isn't enough time for it to be that impactful, and it's basically worthless if the enemy is already doing something. That limits its usefulness quite a bit, and overall, all 3 of Kora's skills aren't really that amazing or likely to be practically useful in many situations. But the bad parts of Kora don't really end there, however. Let's take a look at her specials. Kora's level 1 special is Electric Pom Pom. It is a single hit attack that still manages to feel a bit slow. It has a perfectly average damage ratio, you know the one where you had the 460 at level 5 and 480 max affinity, that one, yeah. Additionally, it has a bonus effect of increasing damage on launch. If you use Kora on Nia, you can actually take advantage of this by launching yourself and using this, and it'll hit before the launch expires, though just barely. It has nothing of any note outside of that, and honestly it's pretty useless as far as specials go, so I wouldn't really recommend using it all that much. Kora's level 2 special is Vivid Love. This is another single hit special that is not very good at all. Not looking too good for Kora at the moment, as the damage ratio here is a below average, tied with the likes of Godfrey being 400 level 1, 560 at level 5, and 580 at max affinity. It has no modifiers and only a small area of effect radius. It's not even that fast either, and the bonus effect will spawn 2 health potions to just sit on the ground for 100 seconds if you ever need to use them. Once again, I cannot recommend using this move or special if there is a way to get to a higher level of special. Kora's level 3 special is Angelic Drop. This is once again another single hit special, cementing Kora as an awful blade for chain attacks, but at the very least this special is a bit better than the other ones. For one, the damage ratio is about average and actually higher than Godfrey this time at 500 level 1, 700 level 5, and 748 at max affinity. It also has a 25% critical hit modifier, which is pretty good with Kora's high crit rate, and its bonus effect is basically a full party heal since it will restore 50% of damage dealt to the entire party. It even has a larger area effect radius as well, making it probably the best out of her 3 specials to consider using. It's still not an amazing special, but at least it's a guaranteed heal on a blade without any so far, and it's probably her best damage option as well. Kora's level 4 special is Sweet Emotion. I have no idea if it's an Aerosmith reference, but the special itself isn't all that great. It actually has multiple hits to apply Stop Thinking on enemies, but that doesn't really do much during level 4 specials because enemies can't move during level 4 specials anyway. Plus, you get invincibility. You can set up fusion combos with this, and it does have an alright damage ratio of 1000, plus a 20% critical hit mod to actually hurt a little bit. And the bonus effect will also spawn 2 more potions to sit on the ground for 100 seconds, so you really need to use them. It's a level 4 special, I guess. Don't really know what else to say besides that, so let's just move on. For setup, I am running the Moon Matter core chip because critical hit rate is about all Kora really has going for her, so better to cater to her strengths somewhat, I suppose. Tachyon bonus effect isn't really that useful here in my opinion. For Aux Cores, I'm running an Affinity Max attack because it's universally the best Aux Core and does end up being helpful here for boosting Kora's damage output since she has no damage increases otherwise. I am also running the Massive Melee Mither for the critical hit rate boost just so she can help get the party meter a bit better since there aren't really too many better options for her. For accessories, I'm choosing to run a more supportive Goliath ring to extend launch duration 32%, making it last a longer time so enemies will be easier to kill and driver comboed longer since we're not using a smasher. Crimson Headband is here for the good synergy with higher critical hit rate, and the fact it'll be independent of the other multipliers being used, and Noise Dampener is similar since Knuckle Claws can get a lot of art damage, especially with Nia having faster art animations with him, and part of my plan here is going to be using Overdrive. Kora will benefit from this a lot. For accessories, Kora likes drinks, and Nia likes fish, so we're able to easily get a good combination of items for art recharge here, which will help us use arts even more. With all that done, let's take a look at how to use Kora practically. Honestly, Kora's not too great in chain attacks, and she's not too great on her own either, so we're going to be relying on our other blades a little bit here. I think Elma and Crossset are great partners for Kora with her current skill set and everything like that. And the reason for that is we can use Elma to set up Overdrive, which will help Kora's damage quite a bit. And Crossset actually synergizes very well with Kora's ability to have health potions on the ground basically at all times. And I'm going to be able to show off that pretty effectively in this video. So you're going to just see potions are just going to be spawning and just staying on the ground pretty much at all times with Kora active here. It can actually get really ridiculous. There can be just so many potions on the ground with her. And one good thing about having this Overdrive active is that, like I said, Nia has really fast art animation. Deadly Twister and Draco Claw are really fast, and Comet Punch is a great launch art as well. And that can make the counter rise pretty fast as well for arts, since they're multi-hit arts for the most part. Draco Claw is at least. You can get 3 hits out of that pretty quickly. And you can also get a pretty good combo going here with Elma's Dark into Mither's Light into Kora's level 4 for the level 3 blade combo there if you want to. We got that completely useless Stop Thinking there. And now after I use that level 4 to get the Overdrive counter up further, I swap to Crossset. You can see just how easily we're able to easily get to our 500% potion stacked on Crossset. You only need 5 potions to do that. And we're already at max damage on Crossset. Even without crits, we're doing like a bunch of damage. 161,000 there, 263,000 there. And we can just kind of end the rest of the fight pretty quickly, thanks to Kora's amazing potion stacking. It was all her, that was the reason we were able to do that. But of course, Tyranitar Kuradel is kind of an easy enemy, so we're going to go against a more powerful enemy here. And I'm not going to subject you to this entire fight, that would be way too boring, but we'll watch a little bit of it. So I was able to start this fight off by instantly activating Overdrive with Elma because of the previous 4 phases. And that's going to allow me to swap pretty quickly here to Kora and get this going here. And we're gonna just start building up our overdrive counter from this point on. We got the really long launch duration, so we can't really attack that much. And we're doing some okay damage with the noise damper, the crimson headband, and everything like that. And with overdrive, the extra damage from that is going to be stacking up further as well, making our damage continue to rise over the course of the battle, which is pretty good. And we also have a level 4 special on deck, either to block a move or just get some extra overdrive counter and damage in when we want to. Although I haven't used it just yet. All around, though, overdrive's pretty good with Kora. Since she's not really going to be good in chain attacks, this is a decent thing to do with her, since she does have the fast art animations that can benefit a lot from it at the very least. And her level 4 at the very least can build up overdrive count. Her level 1 through 3 are bad for that because they're single hit, of course, but at the very least her level 4 can do something there. So that's not too bad, at least. At this point, what we're going to do is do the same combo again, because it's a pretty good blade combo to use, especially because Elma can do a lot of hits with her level 3, so we just want to get that extra bit of damage in. So I'm gonna, I think, launch here and then swap to Elma, or attempt to launch, of course. Since I was driver shackled there, I guess I'm waiting a bit longer. And then there's the Elma. That's gonna give us 16 hits here to get the overdrive counter up further. And remember, we're gonna swap back to we're gonna swap the cross set here and actually get a bit of extra damage off. And collect all those potions that are just all sprawn out everywhere on the ground now. Get a bit of damage in. I'm noticing my Falcon Turn's not able to instantly cancel because my pouch item setup isn't great for cross set specifically here. Falcon Turn has a low cooldown just like Pulverizing Dunk. It's not nearly as powerful though, but it can be a decent amount of damage just to get a bunch of extra damage in if you like using cross set on Nia and you have Kora on Nia as well. It can be a good synergy combo. I swapped back to Kora here because we got the blade combo set up at this point to use level 4 here. I'm blocking Wild Wave with this, because that's usually the most dangerous attack he has that can just one-shot you pretty much. So I wanted to have the level 4 on deck for that, specifically, because that's a very, very dangerous attack. Otherwise, you can see now that the overdrive counters up. Kora is actually doing a decent amount of damage with her abilities now. Our damage is cut 25% because of the electric orb, but that's not really a huge, huge deal. If we really want damage, we can just swap the cross set now at this point, thanks to her having that ability, her being able to get the 5 potions really quickly, thanks to Kora's potion stacking on the ground there. We also get a decent chunk of damage out of this special. We're now at a really high overdrive count of over 400 now, so our bonus damage is over 200% now. So cross set can hurt pretty much a decent amount as well with her Falcon Turn here, which is pretty good. Although I'm going to repeat the same pattern I did before, where I used blade combos again, where we're going to swap back to Kora really briefly here, get a bunch more potions on the ground, and then we can safely swap after that. We also took some damage there, and Kora was able to get some potions to get us back at full health, so I guess Kora's healing with the potions actually is coming in a little bit clutch here. Although, all in all, this is about how the fight basically goes. There's still a little bit of his health left. I don't want to, like, drag it on for the remaining minute and a half that this fight ended up lasting, so I think we're going to probably end this in just a second here. You can kind of see how this goes at this point, though. Kora is not really someone who's going to be carrying fights on her own. She needs decent support. She can synergize well with other blades, but she's not going to be, like, any kind of super threat by herself. She's not going to be, like, pivotal to any kind of strategies either, but she can support other blades decently well, like cross set, at the very least. She can work well with overdrive, and she can work well with driver combos if you got, like, Tora for breaking and stuff like that. She can function perfectly fine in teams like that. I think that's going to cover it for this guide. I hope you guys learned something about Kora and learned why she isn't actually the greatest blade to use, but if you still enjoy using her, you can have plenty of success with her if you team her up with the right people. And yeah, that's going to cover it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, tell me what you liked about it, tell me who you want to see next, all that kind of stuff. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you back soon for the next guide.